When most of us even hear the name Mandela, we think of the courageous and heroic struggle against apartheid in South Africa. But the relationship between Nelson Mandela and his second wife, Winnie, is really complicated. It was a modern political marriage with a lot of other stuff going on. Jonny Steinberg details it in his new book, Winnie and Nelson, Portrait of a Marriage.
Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Talk a little bit. This is a 40-year marriage, but 27 years in prison for Nelson Mandela. How did that marriage evolve over that time? Was it different for Nelson Mandela than it was for Winnie and how it was perceived?
Yeah, it was very different. He was locked up in prison. She was living a life. When he went to prison, she was a young woman and lived a full life without him. Had other lovers, developed a political identity of her own, whereas for him, he was really stuck in time, frozen in time, and kept reliving their courtship, kept remembering her as the young beauty that he'd met and seduced. And so as the years went on, what they meant to one another was beginning to diverge. And yet at the same time, their marriage took on mythical qualities. It became one of the most famous marriages in the world. And they both had to nurture what that meant politically. It was a very important asset for the anti-apartheid movement.
So how did they manage their different political positions when it came to armed resistance? Did they find a middle ground, or how did they navigate that?
They didn't find a middle ground. As the years went on, they grew apart politically. As he got older, Nelson Mandela feared more than anything else a civil war in his country and wanted more than anything a peaceful end to apartheid. Winnie Mandela felt that unless apartheid would end violently through a mass insurrection, it wouldn't end at all. And so by the late 1980s, by apartheid's final days, they had divergent views of how things should end.
So despite the difference in politics as things evolved, they stayed together.
Well, they stayed together for a while. I think that when Nelson Mandela was released from prison, the only life he had is the one that he remembered before imprisonment. And making that marriage work meant the world to him, even though they had drifted so much politically. And he went to great lengths to try and keep the marriage together. I think that he didn't know and perhaps didn't have the resources, the time to understand that the marriage had long hollowed out and was in fact over.
How was the government intervening between the two, and what impact, if any, did that have on the marriage?
Well, it's extraordinary the lengths to which the government went to make Winnie Mandela's life a misery. They imprisoned her, kept her in solitary confinement for a year and a half, tortured her, made sure that her children couldn't go to school in South Africa, made sure that she couldn't work. As far as her relationship with her husband was concerned, whenever she had a lover, they made absolutely certain that he knew about it. They rubbed it in his face. The lengths to which they went to make her life miserable and to make the marriage difficult are extraordinary to witness.
Are they one of the first legacy couples like this in politics that you can recall, or is it just the most recent one?
Well, one of their inspirations was JFK and Jackie. They watched this. They saw this couple living a double life, where everything they did was a movement in private life and a movement in the collective life of all Americans. And they understood their marriage in a very similar way for South Africa. They began to understand their marriage as an embodiment or an emblem of their people's struggle for freedom. And such a simple and powerful story that this beautiful, charismatic couple had been torn asunder, and the day they were united was the day their people were free. They understood that that's what their marriage meant in the public realm, and they milked it for all it was worth. They understood it as a very, very important political asset.
Wow. The book is Winnie and Nelson, Portrait of a Marriage, and you can follow Jonny on Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.